In our first episode, we began framing at the stern of the Tracker 1542. We decided that to keep the boat's center of gravity low, we would mount the deck flush with the top of the bench seats. This proved to help the stability when two people are on board fishing. We used cardboard boxes to create the template for cutting the Piedmont composite board. Don't try to cut the template in one piece. Use two pieces. I laid one piece of cardboard down and then scribed the edge that ran along the side and the stern of the boat. The cardboard was then trimmed and then taped into place. I repeated the process for the opposite side, then taped the two pieces together. The bilge area is cut out, and I cut an area above the stern wiring termination blocks for a round PVC screw and hatch that was purchased from Academy Sports. Using the template, I cut out the Piedmont plastic and dry fitted it to confirm it would fit. The Piedmont plastic has a removable plastic film over both sides. Thus, I used a marker to lay out the areas that would need to be cut. I also laid out where all the rivets would go and pre-drilled the rivet holes. Two seat mounts were installed. The one in the center is for a post and a seat while fishing. The one on the starboard side is for setting a seat for motoring. A 200-pound plus man on a seat with a 12-inch base pipe creates a lot of stress on the mount and the deck. Angle aluminum is riveted to the underside of the deck to create bracing to distribute the live load to the fishermen. You might notice the 1/16-inch thick pieces of aluminum flat stock that are attached with double sticky tape over the rivet holes where the deck will be attached to the bench seat. These are spacers that will allow the deck to perfectly lay flat when riveted. The seat is cut out to allow the bracing that has been attached to the decking. At first, this would appear to dramatically weaken this area, but once the rivets are installed, the surface becomes extremely rigid and strong. Thank God for the pneumatic riveter. It made the assembly go so fast and spared my hands a heap of pain. The 15 horsepower Suzuki electric start fuel-injected engine arrived. The boat is rated for a maximum 25 horsepower motor, but I was cutting my budget close and needed to save the $1,000 difference. The 15 horsepower is adequate for 2 men on board. It will get the boat onto plane and move at about 18 to 20 miles per hour. With the engine mounted, we routed the engine's electric start cables up from the bilge area, through the PVC pipe, and then connected it to the mounting lugs. This concept works great. It was easy to wire the bilge pump, the bilge light, the engine, and the stern running light with all the connections happening under this one hatch. We created a bilge pump mount that allowed for an easy replacement of the bilge pump. It is held down against the hull by a small bungee cord. It is recommended by the company who sold me the Suzuki motor to add a cap full of STP gas treatment to each tank of fuel. A plastic bottle, cut and mounted to an aluminum strap, created a perfect holder. Finally, all wires were attached with cable mounts to keep the bilge tidy. Cutting the rear bilge hatch had to wait until the engine was installed, as we wanted the hatch to fit with an adequate clearance, but not a huge opening where loose things on the deck might roll into the bilge. We used heavy brown paper to create templates for the EVA decking, which was purchased on Amazon. A 46-inch wide by 96-inch long piece cost about $100. With creative planning, we were able to get by with just 2 rolls of EVA. We sprayed spray adhesive to the top side of the template pieces and stuck them down on the underside of the EVA. We had a sheet of 1-inch pink EPS foam that we would later use for flotation, but first used it under the EVA. This allowed us to cut the EVA with a razor knife. It cuts very easy and leaves a clean edge. We took care in the layout, cutting, and installation of the EVA deck material to try to keep the deck planks aligned from one piece to the next. I love this deck material. It is easy on bare feet and scrubs clean with dish soap and a soft bristle brush. In our next episode, we will continue with the build, concentrating on the cockpit, the rod locker, and the cockpit switch panel.